I'm still not 100% sure on how I feel about like premium high-end webcams like the Lumina. I think it's just called the Lumina. Made by Lumina, the Lumina. Even on this channel in the past, I've gone from praising a webcam like the AverMedia PW513 and how great its colors and its dynamic range were, only to then a couple months later get frustrated at expensive cameras and asking like, what's the point when I can get a used GoPro for 40 bucks and then connect it to a cam link and essentially have an even higher quality webcam for like 180 bucks. Why would someone spend 250 on a webcam? And then again, a couple months later to flip flop back to good webcams when Elgato released the Facecam, and it was really great. And by the way, it's worth explaining, I don't really stand by the used GoPro methodology the way, at least as strongly as I used to. Like there's always a risk in getting used gear, especially 8-year-old used gear, which is why if you're looking for a high quality plug and play experience, you can't really put a price on the peace of mind of buying something new and kind of expensive. Well, you can. It's 250 bucks. That's the price. Technically $200 right now as of filming. I guess they're doing a $50 off sale. I have no idea how long that's gonna last. The Lumina is a 4K webcam that likes to use AI in its marketing a lot, so we'll have to see what that's all about. It talks about having super vibrant colors. It's made out of aluminum. It's also got features like a built-in background blur to make it look more like a mirrorless, and they even show on the website that it apparently can compete with mid-tier mirrorless cameras. So let's open this thing up. Let's put it up against a couple of my favorite camera solutions. We'll put it up against the Elgato Facecam. We'll put it up against a used GoPro connected to a cam link. And we'll put it up against a mid-tier affordable mirrorless camera, specifically the Canon M200. And we're gonna compare image quality, we'll compare features, we'll compare how good the software control is, and then we'll compare some suboptimal settings in case you don't have a lot of light in wherever you're putting your webcam. So low light setting stuff. Let's get started. By the way, if there are any questions that maybe I miss during this video, feel free to jump into my live stream. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday on youtube.com/Harris Heller, my personal channel. So go subscribe to that. I'll put a link to it in the description down below. Nice little pull tab here. Let's do it this way. Oh, this is smaller than I expected.
That's what she said.
I do like the box though. A good unboxing experience. Let's keep this in the shot. It looks nice. Oh, I thought this was gonna be like, like out to here. This is pretty small. What can I compare it to? An iPhone? It's almost the exact, it's a little bit smaller than my iPhone. I don't know what this is. 12 something, 13 Max. What do I even have? What's the current iPhone?
13.
13? Thank you. All right, so Pro Max. Yeah, so we got USB-C on the back. On the bottom, we have a little 1/8" threads. So you can mount to anything you can mount the camera to. We got, I believe this is dual noise canceling microphones right here. Let me double check on that. It says dual noise canceling microphones, so I'm gonna assume that's these two things here. Comes with a little color calibrator, which from the video looks actually, I'm really excited about this. If this works the way it says it works, it's got a little QR code here. Take a look at this thing. It's got a little QR code on it that the camera's supposed to recognize, and then it calibrates its colors based on this image. Okay, so yeah, based on the quick start guide, these are both the microphones. These are both LED indicators. The left one tells you if the camera is on, the right one tells you if the microphone is on. Okay, interesting. We've got a USB-C to C. It comes with 2 different cables, which I assume are 2 different lengths. We've got a webcam mount with some flexibility there. Looks like it also has another 1/8" jack there. If you want to put that on a tripod, you can. And then one of my favorite things about the website is this little magnetic, wait, is it magnetic? Maybe this side. There we go. This little magnetic cover, which you can connect to the top if you don't want it. So you open it up there and you close it like that, and it magnetizes to the camera and the website. Magnetic privacy cover snaps on like magic, as if we don't know how magnets work. Magnets, bro, how do they work? All in all though, feels nice. It's a good weight for its size. It's not too heavy. It's just aluminum. It's not steel or anything. It's still pretty light, so it's not gonna weigh your screen down or anything. Let's see how it looks. All right, first of all, don't panic that your screen just went black. That's supposed to happen. You needed a bit of a palette cleanser first. You just went from looking at a 4K cinema camera. You can't jump straight into a webcam. That's not fair. So we're gonna turn on 4 cameras in 3, 2, 1. Welcome Before I tell you what any of these cameras are, I want you to leave comments down below. Let's number them. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4 cameras you're looking at right now are the Lumina, which is what we're calling it now, the Elgato Facecam, a GoPro Hero 3 Plus going into a cam link, and the Sony ZV-E10. I know I said I'd do the Canon, but it's in a box somewhere from the move. So which camera do you think is which right now? Leave a comment. I'm gonna tell you in like 3 seconds. All right, you got guesses? Pause it if you haven't written it down yet, because I'm telling you. The top left is the Elgato Facecam. The top right is the GoPro Hero 3 Plus, which you probably notice is moving around because I don't have a stand for it, so I gotta hold it with my hands. The bottom left is the Lumina, and the bottom right is the Sony ZV-E10. How many of you got it? All 4 of them completely right. Tell me what your thoughts are across all 4 of these cameras. Because I've spent the last hour or so looking at all 4 of these side by side, and I have thoughts on all of them. First, probably the most important thing I wanna say here is that my least favorite one out of these 4 is probably the Lumina. It's got the most unnatural color. My face is extra pink in here, and I've tried color correcting it in their software. It doesn't have a lot of dynamic range, and my face is like, it's soft. It's the only one without a lot of detail in it, and I don't know why it's doing that. I went and I looked at other reviews of this camera. I even looked at Lumina's own YouTube channel just to see if I was doing something wrong, and it looks like this in every single one. It's really interesting. In Lumina's own website and in their own videos, they compare it to a Sony a6500, and in their tutorial, it looks like they add the same smooth skin effect to the Sony to kind of make them look a little bit more comparable side by side. But you can see the bottom left being the Lumina, the bottom right being the Sony. You can just see how much crisper, how much more detail there is on the Sony, but not just on the Sony. You can see how much more detail there is on all 3 of the other cameras. And most importantly, on the Elgato Facecam, which is not only a plug and play webcam, just like the Lumina, but is at least $50 cheaper. The 2 on the left side right now are both, actually, let's see, how much is the Elgato Facecam on Amazon right now? The Elgato Facecam is on Amazon for $170 right now. So while the Lumina is on sale for $200, it's $30 cheaper, but when it's at its full price of $250, the Elgato Facecam is supposed to be $80 cheaper. And as far as I can see, just from the image quality itself, the Lumina only has one advantage, and that is the fact that it's 4K. So for example, I can blow this all the way up, and we'll get full resolution 4K on here because I'm recording this in 4K, but when you're not getting like a crisp image or like sharp details, higher resolution doesn't really matter. Fitting more pixels in a slightly blurry image is gonna look the exact same. Not to mention you're not really gonna get 4K out of Zoom or Twitch or anything that you might be using a webcam for. So I'm not really seeing the benefit of that extra resolution. And it seems like they opted to go for 4K 30 frames per second versus 1080 60. Like you can see, all 3 of the other ones are getting that 60 FPS resolution here. Whereas with the Lumina, when I try to increase the frame rate, the maximum it gives me is 30. So it is possible that they'll add 1080 60 later on, but so far what I can tell from the software, 30 FPS is the maximum. Now the Lumina does have a couple features, and if it's important to you, then that might make a world of a difference. If there are features on this camera that no other camera has, then obviously this is the one you're looking for. For example, it has something called the AI cameraman that zooms in a little bit and then follows you around wherever you move. Personally, I find it a little bit distracting, but maybe you like that. Maybe that's something you're looking for your calls. You are also supposed to be able to hold up this little card. It's supposed to recognize a QR code and use this color palette to perfectly color correct the camera. However, I don't believe that feature has been programmed in yet. Their software is still in beta. It's called auto calibration, and I'm interested to know their timeline and when they plan on adding these things in. I've been watching tutorials on this camera from 5 months ago, and it doesn't look like a ton has changed since then. So I'm sure they got a team working on it. I mean, I'd hate to judge a camera based on unfinished beta software. I don't feel like that's really fair. However, they are definitely taking their sweet time when this camera is fully available to purchase right now, and they still don't have all the features available. But now that I've given all of my thoughts, again, I'd love to hear yours. Leave a comment down below and hit the like button while you're down there, while you're hanging out. Just click it. It's free, helps me out a ton. I'm still always very conflicted when it comes to premium webcams. like this one. Because while I understand that my audience is generally, and you watching this, you're probably a part of my streaming audience who generally watches this, and those people are looking for content quality footage that you get out of something like this. But I understand that a lot of you watching this video are probably doing Zoom calls from home and are just looking for something for business, and you want something plug and play. You don't want to set up a massive rig like this with a capture card, the whole system costing $1,000. There needs to be something between the webcam, you know, $100 webcam and the $1,000 camera rig. And a system like this, in theory, is really cool. It might have a lot of extra features that a standard camera won't. Like, for example, the AI cameraman that zooms in and follows you. Maybe that's what you're into. Or maybe you want some background blur without having to pay for fancy camera and lens prices, which, by the way, I actually didn't really like on this one. I found the edges were really poorly defined. But again, maybe that's something that will be improved within the software. I'm gonna keep my eye on it. At the end of the day, I do think there is a need for your average consumer, maybe your business person who does a lot of Zoom calls, for a high-end webcam. Something that is more premium than your typical $150 webcam, but is still just a plug and play webcam. But as a handful of those have been released, I'm still waiting for one that blows me away with its quality and features. I can't say that I've really seen it yet. I still need to try that Opal camera that MKBHD invested in and keeps talking about. I haven't been able to get my hands on one yet, but maybe that's the one. But either way, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments on what you think about this camera. Am I completely wrong? Is this exactly what you're looking for? I don't know. Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And as always, happy